Hi, so my name is Trevor Cutmore, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the pain that I had in my life, which was the very beginning of my property journey. And at the time, I was working. I actually was doing a job as a community development officer. So I was working every day, 5 days a week, and there was a lot of extra work which wasn't paid with overtime. So I was working month to month on that paycheck. However, during that period of time, a very good friend of mine, someone who I respected greatly, said to me, Trevor, everything you're doing in community development work is great, because I was raising hundreds of thousands of pounds for different projects with the youth and intergenerational work. But when it came to sustaining that work, it just became really difficult to get funding. So one of the things that we spoke about is that we should be looking at another means of income or creating wealth. And one day he came to me and he said, Trevor, I found these properties in Cornwall, and this is a great opportunity because these properties are guaranteed rental for 3 years, and after that they have a guaranteed buyback, which they were going to buy each one back and give us a 25% cash return over and above what we paid for them. So it sounded like a no-brainer. You know, guaranteed rent, that means the mortgage is going to be covered and we can make a profit. And on top of that, we're going to make £25,000 on each property. So we ended up buying 2 each. A word to the wise: if it looks too good to be true, it probably isn't a good investment. And unfortunately, no sooner did we purchase those, did we find ourselves in a position of difficulty, because within the first months of rent, we had no rent coming in. And I can tell you that my friend and I, we were down every few months to Bodmin Court to take this individual, because it was a company, but he was the director of the company. He never even brought any legal counsel with him. He used to defend it himself. We used to win every time. Then he'd make an arrangement to pay, which would get some money, and then he'd go into default and back down to Bodmin Court in Cornwall to get the money off him again. So it was quite a painful thing. Not only that happened, but we also, during the time, found out that he was going bankrupt. And it was an absolute scam. I'm still fighting today. And this was over 12 years ago. 12 years. I can tell you that we bought these at 125,000 each, I believe. And they weren't even worth £65,000. So this is one of my arguments, but that's a complete other story, and I will let you know how that gets on at another video. So the thing is, now we've gone into a position where we've taken 2 properties each, and we've got to pay those mortgages. Now I can tell you the mortgages were around about £5,000 a year on each property. That was the interest only. On top of that, you have council tax. On top of that, you've got the heating, gas and electric, you've got water, insurance, and other things. And then site fees started to come in, and leisure fees started to come in. And it wasn't long before these properties were starting to cost £7,000, £8,000, even £9,000 a year, and we were getting nothing in. So look, when pain comes, and I'm not the only one who's been in a situation where they've been scammed, and someone's taken them for a ride and left them in a very difficult position. I'm sure some of you are in a similar position. The thing is, what do you do about it? Many of the people, because I believe that there was about 30 people who had bought properties down there. The ones who started to survive, there were 21. Many of them just handed the keys back, went bankrupt and walked away. And it was a horrendous experience. I didn't want to do that. So I went and learnt my education, my property investment education, from one of a company that I found in the country. And I thought they were doing an amazing job, and I was very fortunate to get in with a very good group of people. and learnt very well. I applied everything that I did, my mentor told me what to do, and that was really, really important, because when you invest in education, if you don't take the action and follow the steps that you're given, you won't get the results. So I had a mentor called Dave Lyons, and I couldn't have had a better mentor, I can promise you. He gave me strong goals to go for to start with. Then I started to make those goals myself, and because I got into the habit, that's all part of the process. And then I stretched myself and stretched myself. Remember, I was working full time. I can also tell you that one of the decisions that we made as a family, I came back home and I said, look, I'm on this mentoring program. I don't want to waste this money. And I think we should get rid of the television. So as a family, we put the television away for 2.5 years, and that was a very powerful time. But I went on. I learnt how to do property auctions. I can tell you within, I think it was 4 weeks of doing the course, I'd found one, had it, the legals done, and took possession of it. And the day after I took possession, I had people moved in. So it was a very powerful lesson for me. I quickly went on to do a number of options, and I made good money and managed to get enough cash flow up to take care of Cornwall and then kick on from there. Now that is, some of the way that I've managed to grow my portfolio. The overriding thing I think that I learnt was to learn from those people who are doing it and doing it well in property investing. There are a lot of people out there who just do one course and then think that they're experts. I was very fortunate. Dave Lyons was somebody of a great integrity, had great knowledge, and was the right person to motivate me. And when you find that person, then I think you should do everything to try and get close to them and to learn from them. I can tell you that on the very first deal that I did on that property auction, I made more money than what we invested in my property education for those 12 months. So that was a really good result for me. I do know that of the 21 investors down in Cornwall, that quite a few of them have gone bankrupt since over this period of time. So I do count myself as very fortunate that I've managed to learn from good people in the business, a strategy where I've managed to keep my head above water and to kick on and do so much more. So what's the golden lesson for me? The golden lesson has been, look, stuff happens. Don't cry about it, look for the solution. When you find the solution, then take action. Probably the most important is to have the people around you who are positive. And I think the final thing, one of the saddest things about my property journey is that I've had to change friends on that journey. And someone, you will know exactly what I'm saying about when you stand up and say, I'm a property investor, people would now say, who do you think you are? Do you think you're Bill Gates? Do you think you're so-and-so, Alan Sugar, whoever? However, as you go on that journey, in different circles that you go in to educate yourself, you will start to meet other people. They're the people you start to surround yourself with. They're the people who will believe and encourage you and will not pull you down. So I hope that helped. I hope it gave you a little bit of understanding of the journey that I've been through. So there's no silver spoon here. It was this horrendous journey. And I know what it is to wait for your paycheck to come in and have twice as much money going out when you haven't got it. I can also tell you some of the pain that, look, I didn't just jump from getting that deal and that was it. I had to live, okay, and get that paycheck every month. I gave up my job as chefing and I went down to 2/3 salary cut. And then I've got more than double to pay because of Cornwall. I started to live and keep my head above board by taking credit cards on and then zeroing them out. And we did that for a period of time just to manage. I know what it's like when you can't sleep at night. I know what it's like when you're panicking, thinking, oh my goodness. And I know what it's like at festive times when you don't have funds to look after your family. And there's a lot more to that, I can tell you. So look, be encouraged. I am one of those people who have been through it, seen it, and come through the other side. So if there's anything you'd like to know, please email me, subscribe if you like this, share and comment. And we'd love to see your comments. All right, if you want to know anything about our training and what we deliver, I look forward to hearing from you. All the best. God bless. Bye-bye.